What did they take us for? This is one question you must ask yourself. This is what goes through our mind. You have to squat and face each other, and you ease yourself. Can you practice it?
Oh, I can try. I mean, I can try.
Wow. So, this is it.
Wow.
Is it fair? No.
Welcome to the Ussher Fort in Accra, Jamestown, which was built in 1839, and then it was rebuilt in 1924. So I'm here to give you all the history and the story and whatever that has happened within these white walls to see if the things were actually white. So let's go as I talk to Richard. He's one of the best tour guides here on site, and he's going to take us through the history and education of this place.
Bro. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to Ussher Fort.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
This is one of the 28 fortifications built by the Europeans.
Wow.
Actually, it was built by the British. Okay. It contains so many history of Ghana. When we come to the prison history of our own people, and when it comes to refugees history, everything is here.
Everything
I'm going to give you a very good tour on Ussher Fort. And don't forget, it was first called Fort Crèvecœur, built by the Dutch in 1649.
1649.
Purposely for trade posts. When we talk about trade posts, there's two of trading. Talk about the barter trade and that of the slave trade.
Okay.
Then Fort Crèvecœur was scattered by the earthquake and transferred to the British. And later on, it has been used as a prison and refugee camp. Welcome to Ussher Fort as we are entering into the Ussher Fort.
Wow.
So, in Ussher Fort, we have so many departments.
Okay.
We talk about political condemned cell for the militants. We talk about the civilian condemned prison. Then we talk about execution arena. We talk about tailoring department, carpentry department as well.
Okay.
When we talk about Ussher Fort in quotes, it has been built by the British. It was used as a prison. Many prominent people of our nation, Ghana, has gone through this particular British prison as well.
Wow.
We talk about our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was captured here in 1950 as well.
Kwame Nkrumah was here.
He was captured from here. Yes, he gone through here, but his last arrest was in 1950, and he was sentenced to prison in James Fort. Many prominent people of this nation who has gone through to this particular prison. We talk about Kufuor, the journalist. Based on the history, he was also a prisoner through this place. We talk about late President Rawlings. He was once a prisoner through this place. We talk about Captain Suwu. He was here as a prisoner. We talk about former President Kufuor was once a prisoner through this place.
J. Kufuor.
Yes, please. We talk about Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe. He was also a prisoner through this place.
Just to find out, why was Jerry Kufuor here? I've never heard Kufuor was in prison before.
He was not, based on the history, he was not here because of any criminal acts. He was here because of political issues as well.
Can you take us through that one, just that one, before you continue?
Well, in our country, we have so many political groups, NDC, MPP, CPP, PPP. And so when I talk about political issues, it might be one of the accountability that might held him through this particular prison.
Okay.
That's much I know as well.
All right, thank you.
So we also have the same space as for refugees. In 2004, a history narrated in this way. There was a war in South Sudan, region called Darfur. Many Sudanese also came down to Ghana. They were kept here by our former President Kufuor administration in 2004. Well, in 2005, there's a second civil war in Liberia, whereby many Liberians also flew down to Ghana. By the history, they were also kept here until 2008. They moved from here to a place called Liberia Camp of Ghana. So there were 1,000 refugees that were kept here, recorded by Ghana Refugee Standard Board. We'll go through the space and we are going to know each political prison, condemned cell. We talk about refugees camp as well.
So is this place known for slave dungeon, or it's just
like I said, Ussher Fort itself, it was called Fort Crèvecœur. A crèvecœur built by the Dutch in 1649.
Okay.
Purposely served as a trade post.
So it was not for slaves.
Trade posts mean we have the barter trade, where the first European arrived in Gold Coast called the Portuguese in 1471. And whereby they built the first castle called St. George's Castle in 1482. They began trading with us, where they brought mirror, gunpowder as well. But Fort Crèvecœur was also transpired the same thing, and later on converted to be a slave trade. Then later on, as the fort was scattered by the earthquake notice, and it has been transferred to the English in 1868. And there it became a prison. So Ussher Fort, as you are seeing, it was called Fort Crèvecœur, built by the Dutch first. And it was transferred to the English in 1868.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's go on tour.
Okay.
If you have any question?
Sure. I'm just thinking a lot, like the place is so big. So when it was rebuilt, the main aim was for a prison.
Yes, please.
Wow.
Well, this is one of the departments I said earlier on. This is tailoring shop built by the British. But the history over here, as a prisoner, you must learn a trade.
Okay.
After prison, you get something to do, not to steal. The entrance we passed from wasn't the main entrance. What happened over here, that any crafts displayed by the prisoners, they showcase it outside for people who are passing by to patronize it or to buy it. Then the revenue they generated, they use it to cook food for the prisoners as well.
So let me get back again. I'm just trying, a lot of things are going on in my head. I'm just trying to get it right. So when Ussher Fort was rebuilt, it was rebuilt purposely for prison.
Yes, please.
And as a prison, they have this, like a tailoring shop, where the prisoners learn how to, how to sew, and it's showcased, and then it's sold. Okay, I get it.
Well, we are entering into political condemned cell built purposely for our prominent people. By the history, most of the militants gone through here.
Can I look in?
Sure.
Okay.
We are experiencing the prison life here as well. So we are entering into a political condemned cell as well. Remember, the first coup d'etat was attempted in 1979 under our late President Rawlings administration. By the history, most of the militants got arrested. They were kept here as well. When we go inside, you're going to experience the total parameter of each cell and the number of the prominent people that were kept in one prison over here as well. Thank you for coming into political prison.
Political prison.
Like I said, these are the political prison and was built by the British purposely to serve as a prison. And many of our prominent people gone through here, as I mentioned few. Wow. So over here, I want you to take a very close to the total area of this particular room and experience the number of prisoners who gone through this particular space. Welcome to political condemned cell. When we talk about condemned, if anyone found in a condemned cell, mean the person has committed a very high level of crime that will lead the person to sentence to death.
Okay.
So over here, Ghana has been practicing that particular law. So the year 2001, by history, our former President Kufuor partially amended the law. So we are no more practicing what we call death penalty to our condemned prisoners today in Ghana. Well, over here, this was a political condemned cell, all the way from the British era to our fourth republic, that was the late President Rawlings. By the history, the last batch of prisoners moved from here in 1993, which tells you that this space has been used as a prison until
For a very long time.
1993.
Wow.
So any write-up you are seeing on the wall was done by the last batch of prisoners. By the history, there were 5 politicians who was kept in one cell over here as well. There's a write-up here, in God we trust. Always expect the unexpected, better be late than Mr. Late. There is no name attached to it, but this was what our people pasted on the wall. And there are a lot of write-up on the wall when it comes to this particular space. This is the third eye with so many intellectual write-up on the wall as well.
Wow.
Well, any questions so far? No questions. Let's proceed.
So I can see Lee. I can see. I don't know if the person was trying to draw Jesus.
Yes. Yes.
And I can see.
What happened over here was that by the history, so many religious people in the prison, whereby most of them from the Christian background, Islamic and traditional background. So any write-up you see on the wall by the image of Christ tells you that the prisoner is from the Christian background.
Okay. And I can see, let me see if I can read. Pride, spite. I am, like the person wrote,
Yes.
I am pride, spite, hatred.
Yes.
Jealousy, impurity, resentmentness. Wow. Your peace. I mean, it's a lot.
Yes.
Self will your portion. Modesty is your wisdom. Wow.
So these were some of the information they add to the wall.
And I can see Muhammad.
Yeah.
Wow. This is so sad.
Yeah. Well, let's proceed. There were 5 politicians in one cell over here.
Okay.
When we go through all the cells, you will see the numbers changing.
So this particular place were
There
5
politicians.
So that means they might be high rank or?
Yes, they are the highest rank. What it means is that, like I said, the history keep changing.
Okay.
From the head to the militants.
Okay. So this is like the head.
Yes, please.
So
and then,
is this where Rawlings was?
no, not specific, but I'm going to show you.
Okay.
The room and that of the Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe,
Okay.
our former president Kufuor as well.
Take me there. Let's go. So after building castles and other forts to buy slaves, they also built prison to just keep people here.
Well, by the history, our late President Rawlings was here as a prisoner. As I said, he was here for a long time. From prison, he became a president, and he also ruled till 1993. He moved the last batch of prisoners from here, and here became a World Heritage Site registered by UNESCO in 1979.
1979.
Yes, please. It was registered or listed as a World Heritage Site.
1979. And Rawlings was here up to what time?
1993, the last batch of prisoners moved from here, which means that here stopped operating as a prison in 1993.
Okay, but UNESCO registered here
site
as a heritage site.
Fort Crèvecœur was built first in 1649.
Okay.
And when we get there, you appreciate the architecture fabrics they used.
Okay.
That was the oldest rocks they used to build.
Wow.
But when the British took over from the Dutch, the space was transferred to the British in 1868.
Okay.
And they built these fortifications to serve as a prison because their main purpose was to colonize us. So during the times of colonization, they built the prison for us.
For resistance.
Yes, anyone who tried to challenge the British or to say anything against the British might become to prison. That was the target.
Wow. Wow. So was Rawlings the only person that was kept here?
Like I said, there were a lot of prominent people who gone through here.
Okay.
There's also one, Koku Baku was there. We talk about Captain Sowu. Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe served 2 years in the prison. His cell is far away from this place.
Okay.
We talk about the big six, all of them, they got through here as a prisoner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's move.
Whether aim of colonizing us, they built a prison that whoever will resist will be kept here.
Yeah.
This is very, very sad.
Let's come in.
Where do you want it to go?
This is the write-up on the wall done by the Sudanese in 2004. As I said, the space was also used as a refugee camp.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see the Arabic writing
Sudan
on the wall.
And then in Arab, I don't know what it is.
Many Arabians spoke about good hospitality given to Ghanaian. Anyway. Well, when you come here by the history, this was the above house for the prisoners.
Okay.
So if you watch the wall, you could see series of shower pipes and the wall. This was where our people had their bath.
Okay.
Well, I may say this is atrocity to humanity in a way where our people bath in public. Wow.
Wow, it's sad.
And this was the laundry.
This is the laundry.
Yeah.
Oh. So they do their own laundry here.
Yeah.
What's here?
This was their toilet facility. Well, so you ask yourself, can you go to Europe and see this in their prison cell? What did they take us for? This is one question you must ask yourself. This is what goes through our mind. You have to squat and face each other, and you ease yourself. Can you practice it?
Oh, I can try. I mean, I can try.
Wow. So, this is it.
Wow.
Is it fair? No. It's atrocity to humanity.
I see. It's an exercise by itself.
It's itself, but I'm saying, looking at your fellow human private parts is not the best.
It's face to face.
Face to face. I'm like, oh, okay, let's do it.
Okay. Wow. So, go back a little.
You see what I mean? So, there's no privacy in this prison.
Face to face.
So you ask yourself.
I see your human coming. Oh, God.
It's unfair. Well,
is there for me, I will be quite honest. Most secondary schools use this kind of those days, right? This kind where you bend down, you squat, and then you do it. But the sad part of it is that it's short and it's face to face. That is.
Assuming your father is also a prisoner here, somebody who is older than you, somebody who can give birth to you. Is it good or is it fair?
At least there
looking
should
at
been
that
some
person,
privacy.
Private part, it's not the best.
And you see the thing dropping,
That is it.
Yeah.
And these are the water reservoir, as you are seeing. Everything was channeled all the way down as well. Yeah. All right, let's go. Well, over here is the British church.
A church in the middle of the prison.
Yes.
What church was it?
This Catholic.
And why? So they use red clay brick for the church. Make it nice. In the middle of the prison.
So, well, but not because of the prison of the church in the prison. The history here is very powerful, as we are all seeing it.
Okay.
You can't go to any country in this world. By history, you see church close to mosques, sharing the same corridor. Tell me, which country?
I don't know.
Yeah, this was established by our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in this particular prison. His wife is coming from Egypt. And he's Arab. And our president himself is a Christian. After the British were gone, he took over the church, this time for the prisoners who are Christian.
To come here and worship.
And he decided to build
mosques
for the
Muslims, Christians.
Yes, please.
So it's like a kind gesture.
So over here, he's establishing unity among religion. One thing we Ghanaians, we don't do much. We can quarrel, but we will not fight each other. It's today, you and I, we can have the gas to buy Awusa kuku, even Wachi, Kosi. Why? Because we see ourselves as one body, one people. We don't do religion issue.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is one of the unity that was established by our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
So the Christians, as they are having their worship here, the Muslim brothers were having their worship here. Where is the shrine?
The shrine.
Yes.
There's no shrine as well.
For the traditionalists.
What happened was that almost fort and castles, they are deities, they are sacred grove for the deities. But when the European came, they brought Christianity. As they brought the Christianity, our people cannot have that opportunity to worship their deity. So you have to convert it into
either you're Muslim or you're Christian. I see.
Yeah.
But I went to Fort Prinzenstein and the Keta, and the shrine was there. It's still active.
Yes.
So I think maybe if they were other...
Well, it means it depends your people, how they resist the gift of Christianity by the...
Or let's say the gift of the Europeans.
Yes, they rejected it.
So are you trying to say that the people in any way, some way, somehow had the will to not like patronize the Europeans?
Good. I can give you this example. When you go to northern region, the Gulu War that they built, the slave Gulu War.
Yeah, the slave defense war.
Why that particular community were resistance of the slave trade? The European slave merchant couldn't capture anyone over there because they rejected that idea of the European buying human beings selling to Americans. So one way or the other, bringing or giving me something, if I rejected it, it's not a crime.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go to Fort Prinzenstein, as you are saying, the shrine is still there. They believe that this is their deities, and this is what we will worship. We will worship and keep on worship. If you said you are colonizing me, it doesn't give you the right to take away what I believe in.
Okay.
But if you go alongside most of the fort and castles, they are churches built on top of the slaves' dungeons. Yes.
Churches and cemeteries.
Yes. Which means that, well, the same people humiliated us believe in God. And how are you going to define Christianity? And I love God, but what they did, I'm not sure is the best way.
Okay.
Well,
I think this is a sensitive thing that maybe after my whole journey, I would like to talk about it separately because, like you said, in Gulu, the people rejected them. Which means that in every community that they went, if the people never willingly
or accept them, they
wouldn't have been any such result. For me, it really has little or nothing to do with, because we have a mosque here, we have the church here. It really has nothing or little to do with religion. It's just to like the mindset, because when you go to Atorkor, the slave market, there was a man called Ndokuchu. And Ndokuchu sold his own people. He even tricked them. So it, like I said, it's a very sensitive topic.
Well,
and
over here,
talk about
I always say that the slave trade, we the blacks, we are also part of the slave trade. We sold ourselves to the European. Though they brought the idea to us based on the demand from the Americans, we did a lot of action. We are also part of the slave trade. But what we, this generation, must stand up for, this mistake shouldn't happen again. Not in our generation. If we are the youth, the voice of this nation, let's stand up.
Let's stand up.
Let's stand up.
Yes.
It is a work not for one person.
At all.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody. And that's why, personally, I have a strong interest in this this project I'm doing titled The Journey, because we need to know the journey that has happened before we were born. So that when we know what has happened, we will not make that mistake again. So it is very important.
Important for each of us to know our history.
And I think that many people should visit this historic site so that you can see and learn on the site.
Good.
And your mind will change.
Good. That's fine. Because when I was growing up, my dad used to tell me a story that there was a place in the Volta region called Tokwatolia. When you talk about Tokwatolia, it means Go-Gata, where if you enter there, you can never come back. And I said, what is Tokwatolia? I grew up before know that, hey, Tokwatolia, it is real. If you go to all the forts and castles where they catch our people dungeon, why the European brought this idea to us? Are we not a human being? Why did they capture a lot of Europeans to the Americans? Why we the blacks? Why shackles around our necks? Why shackles on our hand? If you are chartering me or hiring me, must you go by putting shackles around me? No. They humiliated us a lot. So I think we need to voice out. This mistake shouldn't happen again. To our own people, we are also part of it. We are part of our predicament because why should I exchange gold with mirror? I knew that those days many people might say our ancestors were not educated. Today you and I were well educated. Where is the industry? Where are they? Are we manufacturing earring, necklace? For our people? No, we still import.
We still do that.
We export also the raw material. Then the raw material that has been refined, they bring it back to Africa. So to us again, high price. So it means we are on the same level. Why can't we, change the system? So the voice of the youth must carry out. And based on this, we are going to change Ghana. Well, this was their playing ground by the histories narrated it in this particular prison. We have the senior most prisoners who have served so many years in the prison and they have a few months to be released out of the prison. So they got the opportunity to enjoy all activities in the yard, like basketball, tennis ball, like Owari games, spa as well. So this was the playing ground as the history narrated it. Well, that stretch was their dining hall. As you see, the place has been deteriorated. Over here, they fed the prisoners 2 times a day by the history, but not a condemned prisoner. A condemned prisoner will be fed inside the prison because he will be going through death penalty as well. Let's carry on.
The place is huge. Where is this side? This is the kitchen. Wow. So this is where they were cooking all the meals.
Wow. This was, the whole of this place was the kitchen built for the prisoners, both during the British era to the 4th Republic. As you can see, this was the sink where they wash their cooking utensils as well. Because of the large number of the prisoners.
Question I want to ask is that, do you have to stand in to wash?
Well, by the history, based on the heap of cooking utensils, as you are washing and it's going down, you have to enter. After you enter...
Can I enter?
Yes, of course. So
this is the sink?
Yeah.
Wow.
After you
wash, like 3 feet high, 3 feet.
After you wash, you rinse, you pack.
Yeah, because this you have to be in to be able to wash.
Yes,
if not, you can't stand
here.
Based on
the number of people, as they heap it, you can't just enter. You have to stand here and be washing as it's going down.
But then it's not hygienic.
It's not hygienic. Well, one way or the other, you can say it's not hygienic.
Because
well, I agree with you.
What you are washing, you're also standing in.
No. You see, the thing is, you wash. You wash.
Yes.
You are not going to step in the plate. By all means, you're going to have a space where you stand.
Stand in the water.
And here is where you are going to
rinse it.
And then pack the final points. You see the narrative. You wash, you rinse, you pack. That is the narrative.
When the plate is here, how will you pick it?
Pardon?
How will you pick a plate from here, standing here?
No, that is what's... This is the way. A heap of plates full this place.
And full means it starts from below.
The below up to the top.
Yes.
So As you stand here, you wash. It is getting down, you pack it. You know that you wash to a certain level, then
you must get inside.
Then you pack to one side.
So the getting inside is that, what I'm trying to say is that when you are inside this, your feet will enter the water.
The water, but not the plate.
Yes. And it is the water that washes the plate.
So once you finish, you raise it. You raise it, you pack.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm talking about.
So the hygiene, they did we did not came across any record based on
prisons always have this thing. I don't even know how I'm going to get out of here.
Well, you can bring your hand.
My pants are so tight. No, I think I should. I'm wearing a camo.
Okay.
I'm wearing a camo like a military guy, And I was also in the cadets, and I should be able to get out. How do I even do it? I don't want to flip. Oh God.
Well, this is the blender.
Okay.
This was where they grind vegetables, pepper as well. So by the history, you use stone to grind as well. So
this is a popular one,
yeah. And this was the tripod made of clay where they set the fire. And the remains are still here. You can see the black candles from the smoke of the firewood. And over here was where they bake their pastries.
Okay.
And it's oven.
They were eating bread.
Yeah, that's the British. Well, let's proceed. And these chambers are the houses. Well, we are entering into the civilian condemned.
Civilian condemned.
Yes.
Okay.
So looking at the shackles on the floor, these were the remain of human shackles. Okay, by the history, condemned prisoners, those condemned prisoners that got suffocated, they can't breathe. They are the ones that they place in shackles. Just air that they need. By the history, there were 10 condemned prisoners in each cell over here, as it has been in the history. Well, so looking at the space, the total area of the space, you could see it is very smaller than the political cell.
So let's say that from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like 8 feet by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 by 6 feet square.
Yeah.
Like 8 by 6 feet.
Yeah.
And 10 people were kept here.
By the history, yeah.
So they were just standing.
Yeah, of course. They are going through condemn. They are going through execution. It's like Ghana, we practice this law, as I'm telling you. Even today, we are even practicing the British court law system today in our courts. So this was what was narrated over here. They were condemned. Once you are found on the list as a condemned prisoner, you will go through death penalty as well.
And I can see a name on it, Ifa.
Yeah. Those are some of the write-up.
Ifa, 10,000 years. Doesn't mean that Ifa was jailed 10,000 years or...
It's a write-up.
Okay, 10,000 years is not never.
Well, one way or the other, some of them have been kept here as a remand prisoner. Okay? A remand prisoner
On death row.
Yes. So until further investigation.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
Look at the lock.
Yeah.
It's very solid. you can never escape.
Yeah.
And it's hot. Oh, so where is this?
This is a prison cell. There were 18 cells down, 18 cells upstairs. As you can see, These were the original doors all the way from the British era to the Fourth Republic regime. Well, in a cell, by the history, this particular block hosted 720 people in 1992.
720?
Yes, prisoners. Which tells you that in a cell will take 20 people. So if you come here looking at the total area of this particular cell, it's different from all the cells we have gone through.
Yes.
Well, so if 20 people are keeping in this particular cell, which means that 10 people slept on the main floor, 10 who stood up while sleeping. The next day, those who slept will run shifts. By the history, they were shifting cultivation or shifting runoff every.
So you sleep today?
Yes.
Standard.
Then the next day, they ran shift.
Oh.
This was the life. Till 1993, they moved from here.
Wow.
Let's move.
And these are just regular prisoners?
Yes, please.
They are not condemned?
People who committed normal crimes like stealing, assault.
And 20 people.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where they peep their eye?
Yes, please.
Oh, look
and
at it.
If you look at the metal, you look at the material, the architecture fabric alone is so much something else. Look at the thickness of the door. Look at the types of the wood.
See if you can see me from this side. You want me to enter? Why do you want me to enter and close it? Now watch it from here. I will not enter, my friend.
So looking at the thickness
let
of.
me see. Can you see me?
Yeah, looking at the thickness of the door is something else, and they also line inside of the door with a metal plate. Inside is another material, conch, very hard plastic. Remember that there's a saline air in the coastal area, so using this material will fight against the saline air that contains salt
to enter into the prison.
That was their idea.
To not
timber.
make them hydrate.
Yes.
Dehydrate. Yes. Okay.
Let's go.
Prison is another thing.
Oh, this is the Dutch cannon. It's a gun.
Okay.
So as you are seeing, this thing over here is a gun brought by the Dutch.
1, 2.
And by the history, they came by the sea. 500 years ago, the only means of transportation was by the sea.
Yeah.
So this particular cannon was on top of Fort Crèvecœur, faced towards the sea direction. As I said, Fort Crèvecœur was scattered by earthquake. So this particular cannon, as you are seeing on the floor, it was due to the result of the earthquake.
Of the earthquake?
Yes, please.
So it's been kept for about 500 years?
No, Fort Crèvecœur was built in 1649. When you do the calculation very well, 376 years about. Well, we are entering to the house of the Lord.
The house of the
Lord. But it wasn't the house of the Lord as you think. No admittance except on duty. Which means if you are not on duty as a prison officer, you don't have to come here or you are not allowed. Dangerous people were kept in the top there by the history.
The house of the Lord?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Over here are shackles, where the history narrated those that were moved to the house of the Lord. Assuming an inmate moved a week ago and it got to another person's stay. He realized his inmate was moved some time ago
and never came back.
Yes.
Okay.
So he got to some of them, they are 10. They became so much aggressive.
I'm going to die.
So they used their last strength to wrestle with the prison officers. And by the history, these were the people that will be put in shackles for a couple of days.
Put them in shackles here.
Yeah.
When like that, crucifying them like this?
No, when you become weak before.
So they put them here?
Yes. When you become
like
weak,
this?
Then you are stronger than everybody.
I'm even struggling as I'm here.
You don't want to go up.
Because my My hands are longer.
What? Yes.
And it's squeezing me.
Yeah. So you have to be there until if you become weak.
Look, I think that people are cruel. Oh. People are wicked.
Let's go. So entering here, the house as it has been stated.
The house of the Lord.
So these are the shackles, the remain shackles of the condemned prisoners on the floor. So by the history, they'll be in shackles. And then a professional psychologist will cite them.
So how many people are psyched at the time?
Pardon?
How many people are psyched at the time?
By the history, we have 4 condemned cells.
Yes, but how many people will be in this room at a time?
At a time, it's a 1 condemned prisoner.
Okay.
By citing them.
Okay, citing them.
Yes, interrogating them based on their acts. When you are found more or less guilty and you have to be sentenced to death, that is where they kept them in here. So we have so many cells pertaining condemned, civilian condemned, political condemned, and that of the house of the law, where you know that okay, this is the final point to execution.
So the house of the Lord was for civilian condemns and political condemns. Yes. So this is where the last show happens.
Yes, the last show, but the time that execution itself will take place, it will not be disclosed to the condemned prisoner until a day will be commenced by among the
prison wards.
Yes, that today we must do this, do that, based on the information they had on it.
Okay. How many people are executed at the time?
Well, as a history narrated it, there was four people at a time. So if you come to this site, well, before we enter, so after there, these are the people they are going to lock in for final death penalty.
So from here they bring you here?
Yeah. So come and have experience of something. You see that this particular cell, there were shackles. Why? Because after citing somebody based on death, it means the person will become aggressive. Anyone can close, he can attack. And so over here, they place them in shackle. If a prisoner comes to mark register, you can't attack. Yeah. So some of the write-up on the wall was done by some of the prisoners who were Christian, and some of them drew the image of Christ, telling themselves.
Where did they get the tattoo?
Well, it is a pencil write-up.
Where did they get a pencil?
Well, like I said, most of them they were educated. So if you want to put us something on the wall, they always draw the attention of the prison officers, wherever they are moving on the corridor. Okay. But they will never come inside by the history itself, how the history narrated it. So they'll peek through they peek through here. Okay. Maybe I want to give you a pencil or any writing object. Then I'll send it to you.
Okay. And these doors are
original
thicker than the first ones we saw down there.
Oh, the first one were very more thick. Yes. And they are made of wood, plastic conch, and then metal.
But this one is super.
Wow. So you can see the cells. Okay. They are different from. You can see inside there are shackles.
Shackles, yeah.
And these are some of the shackles on the floor.
2, 3, and then 4.
So we could see them by the history.
Okay, so
shackles.
this is how. Yeah. Is that a back?
So yes, based on the history, those who are going to the final destination for execution. Okay. They'll be in the
so
from the cell
From the psychology room to the cell, then to this place.
So this means that these people have been satisfied for penalty.
So from here, where do they take them to?
Execution room.
Where's the execution room?
We'll go down there.
Sorry?
It's at the down.
Is that a down?
Yes.
But what's this room for?
Well, if anyone collapse or want to go to poo-poo, at first we have a box where they'll poo-poo inside, then they'll go and throw it or dispose it as well. So you don't go down to the toilet at the down, but rather do everything inside here. Well. So right away from here, we are going to the execution arena.
Execution arena.
Yeah. So this was named the House of the Lord.
The House of the Lord. Which Lord were they referring to?
Yeah, the Lord.
Which of the Lord?
It's your Lord, your God. The Muslim also say Allah, so it's a Lord. We Christian, we say it's our God, it's God.
But our God doesn't do that.
Yeah. So over here, as the history narrated it, it was built as auto mechanical shop for the British, how they repairs their cars as well. But alongside, by the history, the narrative changed to be execution arena. When you watch the top, you could see there is a pattern of an iron that was removed, corroded and removed, but you could see the pattern of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So they go by death penalty, hanging. Okay, they did hanging. By the narrative, they put timber across.
Okay.
You stand on the timber board and then they wear you the gallows. The moment they remove the board under you, you fell into the pit. Well, that is by the hanging. And then electrocution with a very high voltage. By the history, they will fill the whole of this pit with a water and then condemn prisoner in shackles. They will immerse him into the water and electrify the water. By the history that transpired over here, this was the history. Death penalty by two forms, electrocution and hanging. This was what they did in this British prison as well. Any questions so far? So during the Kufuor festival,
I can't answer the question.
Any Kufuor festival every year, our traditional leaders like the chiefs, they always come around and then sprinkle the traditional food called pukbui. If I mention it correctly, pukbui is a reddish food that they give to the spirit, telling us that a lot of people that lost their soul through particular display. So if you want the truth, you can come in August where Kufuor festival will take place. You have experience of how they sprinkle the traditional food to
tell the people just like that.
Well, we are going into our former president cell and Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe prison. It is here.
Okay.
So the way to Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe's prison in Ussher Fort.
Celebrity prison.
Wow. This is Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe's prison. He was once in Ussher Fort here. According to him, there were 4 military men who were kept in this particular cell. As we are talking now, Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe was the only person alive giving us the history of his prison as we are talking now. So, as you can see the prison cell, it was built for the militants as well.
So this is a militant prison?
During the Dr. Nyaho Tamakloe's regime in Ussher Fort prison. Wow.
So what brought Nyaho Tamakloe here?
Well, as I can say, it's a political issue that I cannot give more details to that.
Under which president was that?
That's Rawlings regime.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the stairs to this prison looks glorious.
Yeah.
Like the stairs to this prison is nice. It looks like to an important place.
Well, this was the main entrance to the British prison, Ussher Fort. You can come and have a feel of this particular iron that almost 100 years plus is still surviving the saline air.
Boy.
So they name this particular prison, how can you escape from the British third prison? The first gate, the second, the middle, and the third. This
okay, so the gates were 3.
Yeah.
This is the first gate,
The second, the middle,
and the third. So how can you escape?
From the British cell. Well, right away from here, any new prisoners that come to the British cell must go through the front decks. So this was the front decks under our first president regime.
Okay.
Or
so
charge office.
charge office.
Yes, please. Where they will take details of new prisoners from here. It was here that they will tell you you are going to block A
Hello?
or block B prison cell of the British prison.
Where do the
Ussher Fort.
prisoner stands? Here.
Here.
And there are 1, 2,
2,
3
3
charge officers.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So right away from here, you will not go through the main gate, but rather they will move you through here and open this door for you not to know how big the prison is. So that most of them, when they get to know how big the cells is, then they begin to resist the prison officers not to push them into the cell. So they rather move them through this particular ends. By the time you get there, they lock this place. There's no way you can move.
Wow.
Well, thank you once again. This is the end of the British Fort, Ussher Fort history, based on the prison narrative and that of the prison narratives, and then that of the.
But hold on. Last time I came, you were showing me some other things, including the. You see, there were some other.
So.
No, don't do
Okay.
No, don't do
okay.
Don't do
No, we have it. We have it in badges.
Okay, so this is the end.
This is the end for this particular
This is
part.
the end of this particular
So
part.
we'll go to
we are going to the other side.
Yes. Please.
Okay, so I thought he wanted to just
No.
I'm just being
Yeah.
honest because it's a long trip and the place is huge.
Yeah.
So I thought he was tired. He wanted to check it out. So, so this is the end
of the Ussher Fort.
Ussher Fort.
Built by the British.
Built by the British.
Narrative of colonialism and the prison history.
Okay.
It ends over here.
It ends over here.
We are now moving to Fort Crèvecœur,
Okay.
built by the Dutch.
All right.
Good.
Good. So this is Fort Crèvecœur.
Yes, please.
Wow. It has a very nice view.
Yes. Obviously, if you are
And it's
here-
very airy.
And what happened over here is because of the trading.
Yes.
All the European want to build along the coast for ease transportation. Yes.
So
So
I'm comfortable.
good because of the sea breeze.
Yeah.
We are enjoying here.
And I'm enjoying the view.
Over here, this was the remain of the Dutch Fort Crèvecœur, the doors of no return, and our history where they march our ancestors through to the fishing boat, transport them all the way from here to the bigger ship. Then over here, what we can see over here, you could see the place is very new. What it means was that last 3 years it was renovated by the ambassador of Netherlands to Ghana with UNESCO. They renovated the remain of the Dutch Fort Crèvecœur, as you are seeing. Over there was the first fishing harbor built by the British in 1927. And this is the Jamestown Fishing Harbor. As you are seeing, there's fishing boat display over here, and today they are not going to fishing.
Okay.
What it means is that today is their Tuesday, the supper day, where they believe that when you go for fishing, the spirits will not allow you to catch any fish. And so for that matter, the spirits are sleeping. You don't have to go to fishing to disturb them.
Okay.
That it was the belief, and it is still the belief over here.
Okay.
Well, when you come to this particular space, we have a negotiation hall where they price the slave by the history.
Okay.
Based on their stature, they price the slave. You go in, human being going for a bottle of alcohol, that is among we the blacks selling ourselves to the European slave merchants.
Okay.
They don't give us dollar or money. They exchange our people with goose. Like alcohol, gunpowder. Snap, because we love alcohol. Yes, so we are also part of the slave trade, like I said earlier on. Everything transpired over here, and they also did what we call branding to our people by using hot metal on them for easily identification. Yes, please. Wow. So that when they were able to get to South and North America for sale, they can be able to trace their slaves as well.
So the door of no return is here.
Yeah, you can descend through the door. After pricing the slave, our people, they descend them through this place. Then they descend them down all the way. The door of no return, they descend them all the way to the fishing boat.
To the fishing boat?
Yeah.
Look at this house.
Yeah.
The house here?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a real house that is it the one that, yeah, like some white, white paint.
Well, you know, the fishermen, most of them, they're from this community, and this was their workplace, and it's still their workplace. So what happened was that sometimes when they can't go to fishing or they can't go to work, they rest over there. Some also meant their nets against the next day fishing. It is not a real, it's just a tent.
Okay.
Yeah.
But per estimation, how many forts and castles or forts were built in this area?
This particular, in Accra, you know, the fort and castles started from Volta region. We have regions that have fort and castle, Volta region, Greater Accra, Central, and the Western region.
Okay.
So along the coast.
And Eastern region also has forts.
Yes, but because of UNESCO that registered them in 1979, some of them cannot be traced. Okay, some of them cannot be traced. So they just captured 28. From Keta, Prinzenstein to Pram, Fort Fredericksburg, Ningo, Vernon, Augustaburg in Teshi, and Christianburg. So we are saying that when the European came, they all have interest. So from the eastern part was captured by the Damas. Then all the way, when you come to Accra, it's the Dutch and the British.
Okay.
So we have the British Accra, the Dutch Accra. Well, all the way from here, then you proceed to Senya Breku, Fort Good Hope, Fort Patient, Fort Good Hope in Senya Breku, Fort Patient, then you proceed. Fort Patient is in the Apam.
Okay.
Then Fort William, Anumabo, you go all the way to Central region.
Okay.
All the way to the Western region.
Okay.
That's how it is. But as I'm saying, it was more than 28. But what was registered as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, 28.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. I get it.
Well, so the flags you are seeing on top of the fishing boats wasn't anything. It's just a fan.
Okay.
Most of the people are Ghanaian, but we are fan of different countries. Okay. Well, when you come to Fort Crèvecœur, these are the original architecture fabrics. Okay, they use the stone to build their structures. So looking at the fabrics, it's far different from Ussher Fort.
Okay, yes, it is.
In Ussher Fort, they use concrete steel. But Fort Crèvecœur, they use stone and lime. Okay, though there are some of the wrong intervention, as you can see by, still there's a lime. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So the limes are the whitish,
Original
material
that was used.
that was used.
Okay.
So that is all about it. Wow. We also have the slave gallery. It was built as a negotiation hall, but now it has been converted to slave gallery.
So the Ussher Fort has been restored with the support of the following partners: European Commission, UNESCO, Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations, Accra Metropolitan Authority. Commissioned this 16th day of February 2007 by, I cannot pronounce this name. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for coming to Ussher Fort and Fort Crèvecœur. Remember, the history is to share.
The history is to share. So everybody, I am so touched. Like, if you can see, I look a bit down, not because it's not like interesting, but to look at the things that were happening. I'm very, very emotional. I mean, I wish I could, but anyway. And to think that the Europeans, after everything, okay, we are now coming to colonize you, and they build a prison. And the prison, I mean, when you look at the architecture and the psychology of the prison, it's so sad and wicked. But then, now, 6th of March, 1957, Ghana's Independence Day. What are we doing with our independence? What are we doing with our freedom? Are we still, like, what exactly are we going to do? Is it, and the purpose of this whole project is not to make you sad or to make you condescend or to fit. No, the purpose of this is for you to know what has happened and learn from history, so that our kids coming up and the next generation will have a better life, more than what we are having. So please follow me as I take you through all this history. And this is the journey that we never had the chance. In fact, even if I had a chance, I will not embark on this journey. So we are just going through the journey that our forefathers went through, and we'll learn from it. And we'll make sure that we don't repeat such mistakes again. See you again